Hello, welcome back to Zeke Speaks. This is the channel that helps you enjoy storytelling in the world of media. I'm your host, Zeke Reppel, and today we are talking about the movies that are coming out in 2020, the movies that are on my radar that I'm going to be looking forward to. So, let's jump into this. Now, there are plenty of movies coming out that I will not be talking about in this video. So, I highly recommend you go into the comments and suggest the movies that you're looking forward to that I may have not talked about. I'm going to go through them pretty briefly. I'm super excited for this year. There's a lot of good movies. 2019 was a big year. I mean, the Oscars, I remember watching it and thinking, wow, there's a lot of good movies this year, whereas prior years were a little weak. Before I jump into anything, I want to go to my sources where I got a lot of my information for these movies. Now, IMDb.com is my best friend. I'm on there all the time. I have the app. I highly encourage anybody to go to that app if you want to know anything about movies or TV or anything about news in those areas. It's a great website that has it all. I also have two sources that I found articles on from IMDb. I'll leave those links down below. Now, shall we begin? Now, these movies are supposed to come out in 2020. Some of them will probably be pushed back, which that's normal for movies. They get pushed back all the time. So don't come back here in this video and be like, Zeke, you said it was coming out in 2020 when a movie got pushed back to 2021. I'm sorry. This is just what I'm getting information from. So I could be wrong in the coming months. First movie on my list. I'm going to go kind of in order and when they're supposed to come out in 2020. This one's coming out pretty quick. It's called The Invisible Man. It has Elizabeth Moss. She's in The Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men. She's a pretty good actress. Now, this concept is really interesting. It's about a guy that goes invisible or finds a way to and kind of haunts her. It's kind of a supernatural horror kind of feel. It's set to release on February 28th, so it's coming up. Like I said, it's kind of got horror, supernatural. Go check it out if you're into those things. Next, we have Onward. Now, I'm not a big animated film person. I like Pixar. I like old Pixar stuff, like Up and WALL-E and those type of movies were like really my jam. Lately, I haven't been on the same wavelength with them. I haven't enjoyed the movies completely lately. I'm interested in this because I'm going to be a dad soon. In 2020, I will become a dad, so I'm very excited. And this deals with being a father and two sons going on this journey to kind of learn more about their dad that had passed away in years past. I like the concept of this film because it takes place in like a suburbanized fantasy world of like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And I think that's really interesting because I'm into that stuff. I like video games. I like this world. So I'm fascinated to see what they do with it and the humor that they go with in it. I'm going to be a dad soon, so this probably will be really attacking my heart, try to get my tears to go. And if it all goes well, it probably will happen. Next, we have The Quiet Place 2, Part 2. Sorry, it's called Part 2. I'm very interested in this. I like the first one a lot. John Krasinski, I'm a big fan of him from The Office. I love The Office, if you don't know that. And I'm excited to see what he brings to the table in this next one. Now, when I figured out he was doing a Part 2, there's a fear that these movies can go into sequel hell, meaning that they're just terrible. A lot of sequels are terrible. What I think is interesting about this, after I saw the trailer, is that it's going in a different direction. It's got some good supporting actors joining the movie. It's got my boy Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders. I freaking love Cillian Murphy! Again, the first one was really good, so if it plays off the coattails of what that is and it plays to its strengths, it can turn out really good movie, so I'm excited about it. Next, we got the new James Bond, No Time to Die. I'm very excited about this movie. I like this series of James Bond movies that have come out in the last couple years. I love Daniel Craig. It's got the director Cary Fukunaga, who I did one of my favorite TV series of all time, season 1 of True Detective. He also did Maniac on Netflix. Great director. I'm really excited to see where this goes and how it closes this chapter with Daniel Craig as James Bond. Next, we got the horror movie Antlers. Now, I love horror movies. I got a secret love for horror movies. Not a lot of people know about it. It's released a trailer, and the trailer looks freaking terrifying. It's a creature flick. I have a serious love for creature films. It's really hard in this day and age to do a really good creature movie. It looks like they're going to go down that road and do a pretty good job, so I'm excited about it. Keep your eye on that one if you love horror movies. Antlers. Next we got Spiral. This is a controversial one. It just released a trailer in the last couple weeks, and a lot of people are trying to figure out what this is. So it's technically a part of the Saw franchise. Now, the original Saw is a fantastic movie. It was made by James Wan. He's made some of the most historic and most successful horror movies in the past 2 decades. He's made The Conjuring, he's made Insidious, and he made Saw. And he started a lot of these franchises. He's a fantastic director, and his concept of Saw was really good. Now, since Saw made 7 million sequels, I don't know where the quality left somewhere in there. However, this Spiral movie is an offshoot of Saw. It looks like it's said to be a couple years after all these Saw events, or from the previous movies, and it's got some interesting people attached to it. It's got Chris Rock at the helm as the main actor, which is very fascinating. And in the trailer, it looks like the killer is attacking cops or something of that nature. Whereas in the original Saw, it's more guilty people are put in these situations and they have to choose whether to change their life or not and die the way that they are. That's kind of what the concept of Saw is. Again, they could totally drop the ball in making this movie. It could be a terrible topic or movie. So keep your eye on it. It could be really interesting. It could turn out to be really, really good and a good avenue for the new Saw direction, or it could crash and burn. So yeah. Then we got Wonder Woman 1984. I love the first Wonder Woman. I have huge props to that because up to that point, DC had been doing a lot of hit and misses. I like DC movies a lot. I like that they're darker concepts. I don't like that they're trying to form themselves to be like Marvel, because Marvel's rocking their own groove. They're very successful at the movies that they make. If DC tries to copy that, they're not going to be as good. So I like when DC goes down their own road of trying to do what they're good at. So I'm excited for this movie. Kristen Wiig's in it, attached to it, and I love the 1980s kind of look that they're attaching to it. So I'm excited. If it's anything like the first one, it's going to be good. Yeah. Now this movie is probably my most anticipated movie of the year. It is Tenet. Now, Christopher Nolan has a new movie coming out. Anytime he has a movie coming out, I get super hyped. I'm super excited. I love his storytelling. I love the way he puts together his stories and his movies. Yeah, I'm pumped about this. It's got some really interesting actors attached to it. It's got John David Washington, who's a rising star, coming up. And then we got Robert Pattinson, who's also a rising star with being casted as a Batman. His last couple movies have been fantastic. I encourage you to go watch his last couple movies. Forget about the Twilight series. Go witness Robert Pattinson's acting in the last couple years. He is amazing. I'm a huge fanboy of him now. So please, if you're doubting me, go check those out. I'm excited for Tenet. It looks like it's got the great potential to be something amazing. So please keep your eye on this one. It's going to be a big blockbuster this summer. Christopher Nolan always hits pretty solid movies. So I'm excited. And we got an interesting one now. It's called The French Dispatch. If you know Wes Anderson, if you like his movies, his humor, this is going to be your cup of tea. And now I know these movies are not for everybody. Some people don't understand this humor or the way these movies are laid out, and that's totally fine. So maybe keep this one off your radar for the year. However, I love this humor. It's right up my alley. It's got some pretty good actors in it. I mean, Wes Anderson movies usually pack actors or actresses that are pretty famous. The ones in this one, Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, and Timothée Chalamet, who's this rising guy that there's a lot of hype about. I'm pretty excited about him. So yeah, this movie's going to be pretty good. Check it out if you like Wes Anderson movies. Now, bear with me on this next movie. I have some huge devotion and loyalty to my childhood. Godzilla is one of those things. I love Godzilla. Now, if you keep an eye on Godzilla the last couple years in the movie industry, it's got its own trilogy attached to the Kong Skull Island movie that came out a couple years ago as well. There's Godzilla. Then last year there was Godzilla King of the Monsters that came out. And now this year they're concluding this series or this universe with Godzilla vs. Kong. Now it's attached again to the Kong Skull Island movie. They're going to kind of combine it all, and they kind of set it up in the last movie. Now, how they're going to do this fight between Godzilla and Kong and Godzilla for me aren't even in the same weight class. You got Godzilla, who's freaking awesome. He shoots fire. He's the size of buildings. There's no way. We got Kong, who's basically a giant monkey or a giant gorilla. So I don't know how this weight class is gonna fight it out. I'm not sure, but I'm interested to see where this trilogy goes. I love Godzilla, and I'm excited to see this movie. I loved the last one, even though it didn't get great reviews. I enjoyed it, so yeah. My next movie is probably my second most anticipated movie of the year. Now, there's not a lot of things known about this movie. It is called Dune. Now, I've never read the book, but I've heard, or the older movie, I've never seen that either. I've heard this is just a huge milestone for the sci-fi genre. Now, it's got a really good director attached to it. I don't know how to say his name correctly, so I'm probably going to butcher it. Now, he's an amazing director. He's done Sicario, he's done Arrival, and he's done the Blade Runner 2049. So he's definitely amazing. And it's got a huge cast attached to it, which is another thing why I'm keeping my eye on it. Josh Brolin, we've got Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Momoa, Javier Bardem. Oh, I love Javier Bardem. Oscar Isaac, Stellan Skarsgård, Paul Billion, Wildling, and long time no see, Timothée Chalamet, who just came up previously on this episode. Now, this is going to be a big year for him, Timothée Chalamet. He's got another project. I don't know if it's set to come out this year or next year. He's going to be playing Bob Dylan in that movie. So this is going to be the year of Timothy. So keep an eye on him and see where he goes. Dune, keep your eye on this movie. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do it. I'm excited for it. Next, we got West Side Story. Steven Spielberg is putting this movie out this year. Steven Spielberg in the last couple years has had some hit and misses. He has not risen to the heights of the movies he has made once before. Maybe he's older. Maybe he's just losing his touch. I don't know. Steven Spielberg is a legend in my mind, so he can never lose that unless he made maybe he made Cats. Maybe that would change my mind. Has become. I'm interested to see what he does with this concept. It's a famous story, so we'll see where he goes with this. Now, this last movie may now come out in 2020. It was announced to come out in 2020, but I think it's already being pushed back, or there's rumors that it's going to. And I just learned about it, so a lot of this stuff is really new to me, but I need to talk about it because I'm pretty excited about it. It is called The Last Duel. Now, the director is Ridley Scott. Same category as Steven Spielberg, has done some legendary movies through the years. The original Blade Runner, the original Alien. Now, it's got some pretty good actors attached to it. It's got Matt Damon, and it's got Ben Affleck attached to the project. And we've got Adam Driver. Now, I am a huge Adam Driver fanboy as of now. Not mainly because of the Star Wars movies. I liked him in the Star Wars movies. I actually think he's one of the best parts of it. I just think he's a fascinating human being. I love just observing him and watching him in the spotlight. He also did an amazing job in Marriage Story, the movie on Netflix that was up for a couple Oscars. The story of this movie is about a medieval duel between a squire and then the knight that he squires for. So I'm interested to see what kind of epic this turns into. Now, there's a lot of movies I still wanted to mention in this list, but I wanted to keep this video short and sweet. So I'm just going to do a couple honorable mentions to try to, keep you guys informed if there's a movie that you're interested in. Like, oh yeah, that's 2020. So I'm going to go through these kind of quick. We've got Mulan, The New Mutant, F9, or Fast and Furious 9, Top Gun Maverick, Free Guy, Morbius, Halloween Kills, and The Green Knight. Those are some of the movies that are honorable mentions that didn't get on to go on a deep dive into in this video, but once they come out, I probably will do a movie review on them. So keep your eye out on that. Now, my recommendation for this week, I'm pretty excited about it. I am watching the McMillions documentary series on HBO. It goes through how the Monopoly game at McDonald's was rigged for the $1 million several times over, and a lot of those big prizes in the early thousands. I love playing Monopoly at McDonald's, so I was just like, I'm gonna watch it regardless. It's turned out to be a really good series. It's really well made, great storytelling. I really encourage you to go check it out. I don't want to give any spoilers because every episode kind of ends with a cliffhanger and leads you to the next one. but it's really good. Now, I'm going to give you a part 2 of this recommendation. It's not really media related or storytelling related. Now, I live in Arizona, and McDonald's just started selling chicken breakfast sandwiches. Now, I like McGriddles, and I've always dreamed of having a chicken McGriddle, and it has come, and it is delicious. Now, they don't have the original chicken McGriddle, because in Arizona, they only sell the spicy chicken sandwiches here. But the spicy chicken McGriddle is freaking fantastic. If you live in Arizona, go eat it. If they're in your state, go eat them. They're delicious. That's all I got for you guys. This has been an awesome episode. I think I really enjoyed talking about these movies because I'm excited about all these that are coming out in 2020. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to stay up on this storytelling content. Again, this channel helps you enjoy storytelling in the world of all this media. Thank you guys. This has been Zeke Speaks. See you soon.